Black History Month is here, and Lawrence County, Ohio has a unique story to tell about how this area in our own backyard played a part in the Underground Railroad. It's a story you'll only see here on 13 News, and our very own Shannon Litton has the story.
Put yourself in someone else's shoes. It's often easier said than done and almost impossible if you try to put yourself in a slave's shoes, or lack thereof, during the 17 and 1800s in the United States.
This was an arduous journey. You had to escape whatever plantation you were in.
An arduous journey for freedom seekers who made their way right here to Lawrence County, from as far as South Carolina and Georgia to as close as the Jenkins Plantation in Cabell County.
The river was a lot lower in those days. In that region there, along Proctorville, down along through South Point, down along through Ironton, and Hanging Rock especially, as it makes that turn, it slowed the water down.
Dr. David Lucas is a local historian in Ironton. He says enslaved people were not good swimmers, as they were not taught to swim or allowed to swim for that matter. But in the wintertime, when the river froze, Dr. Lucas says those freedom seekers could walk across without fear of drowning.
Imagine walking all that way with no shoes. Imagine crossing the river, iced over. Imagine not being a swimmer and grabbing a hold of a plank or a log and hoping that you get to the other side. Imagine.
Once these freedom seekers crossed the Ohio River, Dr. Lucas says their journey could have taken anywhere from 3 to 6 months. These freedom seekers are said to have hid in many places, including the Campbell home on 5th Street in Ironton and mansions like this around town.
In a lot of those mansions in Ironton, they still find them. There are hideaways in those built into those homes where you could hide 15 to 20 enslaved peoples to finally get them out by the dark of night.
Homes like this one, owned by Kevin Waldo, were part of the Underground Railroad. Waldo says he knew something was up, even as a young child, all because of one of the rooms in his home.
There was a room that was right here. It was a small lavatory type closet room, and it had about a 7-foot tall ceiling, and all the other ceilings in the house are 11 or 12 feet in height. And years later, I went up in the attic and found a hidden room that had a ladder going down to it from the attic. The only logical explanation about the room would have been the possibility that it was used to secure slaves that were coming across the river during the abolitionist era. And I would think that they hid the slaves in this small room.
Dr. Lucas says in the dark of night, freedom seekers headed out.
They knew to go north by watching the stars. They'd been taught to do that, to pass that down.
Freedom seekers would convene at pig iron furnaces like these. Once here, iron masters would hide them at the bottom of their carts and provide them with provisions as they made their journey to freedom toward Canada.
Imagine, week after week after week, hiding out in brambles and bushes and trees, hiding under bridges, just setting out to get away from that evil, that burden was just so heavy. They wanted that freedom.
Even after a grueling and exhausting journey, nothing was sure for these former slaves except a new start. And once they made it to the northern regions of the United States and Canada,
there you were a free person. So they could start their lives over again. They could get a job. They could get a parcel of land. They could begin to grow vegetables, do the kinds of things they already knew how to do from the plantations.
At the end of the journey, finally breathing in free air with no slave master, it was worth every step. In Lawrence County, Shannon Litton, 13 News, working for you.
Coming up after the break, we're going to hear more about the unsung heroes that made the Underground Railroad possible in Lawrence County. Only here on 13 News.